When was the last time someone told you no, and how did you feel? Today, we were going to explore a phenomenon that is shaping the dynamics of newer generations, an almost visceral aversion to rejection. This video begins with an alarming statistic. Studies reveal that over 70% of young adults experience high levels of anxiety when faced with a no. But how did we get here? And more importantly, how can we transform this weakness into strength? To understand this issue, we need to go back in time and see how cultural evolution has influenced our expectations. 30 years ago, the reality was quite different. It was a time marked by fewer options for instant entertainment and communication limited to physical and face-to-face means. The generation of our parents and grandparents, shaped by historical contexts such as financial crises and a slower pace of life, did not have many conveniences and thus internalized the notion that persistence and resilience were necessary virtues. Hearing, "no doubt wasn't just expected," it was seen as part of the social fabric itself, a way to learn the value of persistence and the patient building of goals. When our predecessors received a no, it didn't mean the end of the road. On the contrary, it was an invitation to rethink approaches, try an alternative path, or simply learn to wait and prepare better. This mindset encouraged creativity and personal development, as each rejection was a life lesson that strengthened individual character. The mental flexibility needed to deal with rejection was understood as a muscle that needed regular exercise. Today, however, we grow up in an environment of instant gratification, where technology has shaped a new culture of fast and easy consumption. The internet and digital advances have transformed social expectations. Results that once took weeks or months to achieve can now be obtained in a matter of minutes. This paradigm shift has deeply influenced how we view no. We've become used to the idea that success and validation are just a click away, suffocating the notion of delay or natural reevaluation of our paths. The expectation is that everything should be easy and instant, and any form of rejection becomes a dissonance with that expectation of immediacy, creating discomfort that discourages patient and strategic confrontation. The culture our grandparents and parents experienced allowed for a richer understanding of the time and effort needed to achieve goals, something often lost in the rush of the modern world. In many ways, the abundance of choices and the increasing speed with which rewards are expected have challenged our collective patience, reconfiguring the meaning of no from an educational tool to a feared barrier. As a result, resilience practices like stepping back and viewing no as a natural part of growth have become less common, drastically altering the social and emotional dynamics of the generation now facing the world. And then, social media came into play. Offering a showcase of seemingly perfect lives, it shapes our understanding of reality, highlighting triumphs, but rarely showing the stumbles that precede them. This contributes to the creation of unrealistic expectations, as we tend to compare our behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel. Imagine the pressure of seeing everyone around you seemingly thriving constantly. Failing or hearing a no starts to feel unbearable and demoralizing. And now that we've laid this foundation, it's time to introduce the first hook: personal stories. Let's hear from real people whose experiences will help us understand the genuine, everyday impact of not being able to handle rejection. Maria talks about how a simple no from a supervisor almost made her give up on her career, plunging her into self-doubt. João, on the other hand, shares how repeated rejections in business frustrated his efforts, but eventually became the key to unexpected success. Their stories remind us that the problem is real, but also that there is light at the end of the tunnel. With this in mind, we now need to pause and reflect on how this intolerance affects young people's mental health. Psychologist Dr. Carlos Santos explains how this trend toward instant gratification can lead to significant increases in anxiety and depression. Rejection, he says, is one of the most painful yet unavoidable experiences, but it holds a potential for growth that should not be ignored. We need to encourage a change in perspective, where no is seen as a stepping stone, not a wall. So how do we do that? This is the moment where we offer tangible solutions, starting with individual practices. The cultivation of resilience and emotional intelligence might be the key. Imagine a young adult facing a no. Instead of internalizing it as a final judgment on their worth, they learn to see it as an opportunity for assessment and improvement. It starts with self-reflection. What is this no teaching me? How can I respond in a way that enhances my skills and approach? In addition, we must look at the crucial role that educators and parents play in preparing new generations to deal with rejection. Encouraging an educational approach that embraces failure as part of the learning process can help create a growth-oriented environment. Rejection scenario simulations and open discussions can be powerful tools in both schools and homes. Let us insert another key hook here. Inspiring examples of organizations that not only embrace no, but use it as a springboard for innovation. Consider a startup that made the No Club a fundamental part of its culture. Every no received became a point of discovery, a catalyst that propelled the organization to a higher level of success. These are the kinds of examples that show us the transformational potential of a no when it yes properly addressed. As we reach the end of this video, we must ask ourselves, how can I, you, all of us use the power of no in a positive way? The road is challenging, but far from impossible. Let this video be a call to action. Reflect on how you react to no. Share your experience in the comments. Let's build a community together that accepts and transforms the no. If you found value here today, like, share, and subscribe for more explorations on topics that truly matter. With that said, thank you for joining us on this journey, and see you next time.